Shalom, 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 shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone. And salutation to all the Akim that's pushing the truth uncut and raw. Waking leg, to third, coming out Shalom. This topic is Revelation 7 and 9. What is that great multitude? All the nations and kindreds of people and tongues. All right, who are those people? Because you have the Christians saying that those are the Gentiles, the heathens, of other nations, but it's not. Because we know Israel has been scattered to the four corners of the earth. All right, and remember, the Lord called Israel as a people. Give me a second. I'm gonna just read it. Revelation 7 and 9. All right. After this beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number of all nations. And don't we know that? Let me just go. I'll come back. Let's go to Israel is known as people that even to Abraham. They told Abraham you have. It would be numerous as the sand of the sea and the stars in heaven. Was that not talking to Abraham? And we know that Abraham, if you can receive it, Abraham is an Israelite, man. All right, Abraham came back as an Israelite. We know it was reincarnation. All right, because the promise went from Abraham, Isaac to Jacob. But there's a point that I want to grab. I'm just go straight. Amos 1. Amos 1. Not Amos. Why it keeps changing? And my phone just moving by itself. Salakia, not Amos, Hosea. Alright. Hosea 1 and 10. Yeah, the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured, alright, nor numbered. Then we see numbered. All right, and shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. And that's the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, the Americans, and the speckled birds, are that scattered amongst the four nations, four corners of the earth, and these, these different nations. They might look like the heathens, but lineage go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, that's that sand of the sea that they can't be numbered. The Lord always spoke of Israel. All right, let's just sand the sea. Let me see how many times it comes up. 36 times. And when it speaking of, and this is what the Lord said to Abraham. And I was gonna bring it out, but just why not? Genesis 22 and 17. That in the blessing I will bless thee, and in multiply I will multiply thy seed as the stars in heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and the sea shall possess the gates of his enemies. All right, and they shall be Salakia, and in thy seed shall all nations be of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed the voice. Obey my voice, man. And we know that Israel, all right, they're just one nation, though. Israel's a company of nations, all right. Judah is also a nation within a nation. Issachar is a nation within a nation. Benjamin, Levi, all right, those are nations within nations, all right. A nation within a nation. That's why it says a company of nation when you go into it. We are like the sand of the sea that can't be numbered. Now let's go to Genesis 32 where I've seen it. Let's see who he this was also told to Jacob. Let's just put the sand in the sea. I am in transit. Alright, so Genesis 32 and 12. Alright, thou says, I shall I will surely do thee good and make thy seed as the sand and sea, which cannot be numbered for a multitude. For a multitude. All right. So that's one. So I'm going to go sand and sea again. That's speaking of the Israelites. That's that multitude. Sand and sea. All right. All right, so let's go back to Revelation 79. Revelation 7 and 9. Revelation 7 and 9. After this, beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number. Those are Israelites of all the nations and kindreds. Why then? Because of Israel is a curse that will be scattered amongst all the nations. All right. Kindreds, people with tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So it said with palms in their hands. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter, because he's seen the vision, the same vision in a sense. All right. So 2nd Ezra 2. All right, and 40. Let's start at 42. 42. Now Ezra saw upon Mount Zion, that's the name for Israel, Mount Zion, a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. All right. In the midst of them, there was a young man, Yahushua, who eagerly called Jesus Christ. Yahushua means he saves, he delivers. All right. High stature, taller than the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marvel at greatly, because Yahushua, the top dude. All right, under Yahweh. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, this be they that have put off the mortal clothing, this flesh, and put on immortal, all right, those extraterrestrial bodies, all right, and put on immortal, and confess the name of God, and now they are crowned and receive palms. And it's going back to the Zion, the Israelites. All right, then said I unto the angel, what young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? And speaking of the Israelites, but who is that? Yahushua. And the only people that's going to get these extraterrestrial bodies, are these super bodies, all right, are the Israelites. They're the ones that are going to have victory over death, victory over death under Yahweh, through Yahweh Shemal Shai. All right, the heathens are going to have, they're going to be still of this world, of this flesh, they're going to still have these bodies. We're not going to have these bodies. All right, that's why we're going to be able to live forever. That's why the new covenant, all right, to put the laws in our inward parts, the laws will be in our inward parts, and we're going to have those bodies. All right, those heavenly bodies. All right, and we're not going to die anymore. That's the only people that's not going to die anymore is the Israelites, because we're not going to sin anymore. And we know the new covenant is for the Israelites. All right, and then said I unto the angel, what young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of God, Yahushua, whom they have confessed in the world. And then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. Those that names are written in the book of life, the elect of the house of Israel, the elect. Then the angel said unto me, go thy way and tell my people what manner of things, and how great wonders of the Lord thy God hath seen. All right, so that's that great multitude. Now we can go back to Revelation 79. Just read it again. I'm saying the Wadi Abashima Shah for the Ruach HaKodesh. All right. All right. I read it again. After this, behold, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all the nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed in white robes and palms in their hands. Then they said that Zion, Mount Zion, you seen this in the 2nd Ezra, 2nd chapter, the same thing. All right? That's the same vision. All right? It was Israelites. It's not regular heathens. Heathens are not a part of the covenant. The kingdom of heaven is not for you. Are you going to be in the kingdom of heaven? Yes, as servants, all right, slaves to the Israelites. But it's not going to be your heaven. All right? Now, look, this is a dagger. All right, this is going to bring it in. That's why I love this precept. I love this precept, Isaiah 11. Isaiah 11 is that dagger. All right, Isaiah 11 and 10. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse. All right, Yahushua, who you call Jesus Christ, is from the root of Jesse. Jesse was the father of David. They always say the root of David or the root of Jesse, which shall stand for the ensign of the people, and it shall and until it shall the Gentiles seek, and the rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, what shall be left, or the remnant, all right, of his. But the second time, the first time was ancient Egypt, and this time is going to be, the great deliverance is going to be from Babylon, the great America, that is spiritually Egypt. Let's go to remnant. Who is the remnant? I was not even going to do this because I got to go to work. Hold on, I'm spelling it. Remnant. Okay. All right. Let's go. What I thought about a remnant was Isaiah 1:9. Except the Lord of hosts have left unto us a very small remnant. This is speaking of Israel. When you go understand, this is speaking about Israel. When you read the chapter, it's speaking of Israel. All right, except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we shall have been as Sodom, and we should have been like Gomorrah. All right, so that remnant, let me put it again, see if I can. Come on. Remnant, let me see something. Let's go to the New Testament. Let's see. Romans 9:27. That's a good one. Isaiah also concerning Israel, thou the number of the children of Israel shall be the sand of the sea, a remnant that shall be saved. So Israel is that remnant that is going to be saved. I read Ecclesiasticus 47:22. But the Lord will never leave off his mercy, neither shall any of his works perish. Neither will he abolish the posterity of his elect, and the seed of him that loveth him. He will not take away the elect. Wherefore he gave a remnant unto Jacob, and out of him a root unto David. The remnant is Israel. So let's go back to Isaiah 11. I got to go to work. I got to go clock in. So Isaiah 11, start at 10 again. And in that day there shall be a root Jesse shall stand up for ensign of the people, and to it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left. So these are what people? That's his people. Who is his people? All right. The Lord had died for his people, for their sins. Who is this people? all right, of his people, and he's going to go into his people, which shall be left from Assyria, because every was scattered from four corners of the earth, from Egypt, from Pathros. This is that multitude, and from Cush, because 1/3. So 144,000 is just the body government, but you still have women and children and friends of the prophets that male, that's going to be saved from all four corners of the earth. All right, from Assyria, from Egypt, from Pathros, from Cush, from Elam, from Shinar, and from the Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and he shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. Speaking of Israel, outcasts, why Israel? Israel was outcast. They was kicked out of the land. All right, they went into the Syrian captivity. They was outcast and gathered together, dispersed of Judah. Judah went into different captivities. All right, that's why they was dispersed from the four corners of the earth. So the Lord is going to save the Israelites from these different nations, from these different. And let's go back to Revelation 7 and 9. All right, those countries is what you see right here in Revelation 7 and 9. After this, I beheld and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all the nations, because you're going to have Israelites coming from all nations, and kindreds and people and tongues stood before the thrones. They're speaking all these. They was in captivity, speaking the language of these captivity. I'm in America. I'm speaking English. That's not my real tongue. My real tongue is Lashon Kodash, the holy tongue. All right, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with the white robes and palms in their hands. All right, and I cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our God, who has sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb, man. All right, this is the Israelites. Revelation 7 and 9 is for the Israelites, man. All right, that's what it's speaking of, is the Israelites. Salvation is only for the Israelites. So I gotta go, but salvation is only for the Jews. John 4 and 22. So like ye worship, ye know not what we know. We know that we were. So like I start over. John 4 and 22. Ye worship, ye know not what we know. What we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. Salvation is only for the Israelites, man. All right. All right, so Shalom. We're going to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and salutation to all the occupants, especially the true one Waking Lekim, 2/3, Mashallah, Baba.